Have you ever wondered why good girls cheat? Like the good girl, the one who you would never expect that she would cheat on her spouse or her partner of many years. You would never expect that she would be stepping outside of her relationship once, twice, several times, many times, until it gets discovered. What is it that motivates a good girl to cheat? Like what is that all about? Okay, what even is a good girl? Maybe we should define that. Well, I want to define a good girl as someone who is a good person and they were genuine when they got into the relationship that they were committed to, but along the way something happened. And in this video, I want to talk to you about why good girls cheat. You might be the good girl I'm talking to, and I want you to pay attention to this because it's going to help you. Now, maybe you're the guy who had a good girl who cheated on you. This video is just for you. All right. Hey, I'm Rod Harrison. I'm a relationships expert and an executive marriage coach. I love helping people with their relationships. I love helping people who perform at really high levels in sports and business and entertainment, reduce stress in their relationships, and increase their performance in their chosen field and improve their connection with their spouse, with their partner, so that they can have the rich relationship that they were supposed to be. Because oftentimes when you're in the limelight, people think you got it all together. And the truth is, none of us have it all together. But you don't always want people in the public to know what you're struggling with in private. And that's the space that I fill with some amazing, wonderful people to tell them things they don't want to hear sometimes so that they can become the people they've always wanted to be. All right, so I'm glad you're here with me today. Let's talk about this very, 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 very significant subject. Why is it that good girls cheat? Why? Why do they do it? Is that your question? Or is it just my question? Let's talk about this. I want to give you 5 reasons because sometimes people misunderstand good girls as I've defined them. The early part of this video, right? Why is it that they cheat? How is it that they can look so faithful, seem so committed, and then all of a sudden it's discovered that they have been cheating, are cheating? What is up behind the scene? I like to say to my clients, and whenever I'm doing groups or coaching people in different settings, that what you see happening on the outside always begins on the inside. I want you to take that insight right there. Anytime you see something going on the outside with the person, don't pay so much attention to what's going on the outside. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm just saying that's not really the real story, because what happens on the outside comes from somewhere on the inside. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. There's a great story in Judges chapter 19. It's the basis for my first book. My first book is called Cover Her. You can get it on Amazon. I hope you will. It'll help you. But in Judges chapter 19 is this young woman who is a concubine of a Levite. Now, you may not know what a Levite is. You might not even know what a concubine is. But basically, in today's vernacular, she was a long-term girlfriend for a deacon in the church. Booyah. That's what it is, right? So he has taken her as his girlfriend. He is getting all of the benefits of the relationship. There is intimacy. There is, her living with him. But she gets no benefits. She ain't getting no retirement. She getting no Social Security. She is just his thing to take care of all of his pleasures. And this goes on for a long time in the story. The story ends tragically, but before the tragic end comes, there's a statement that says basically how she at one point left him. Another translation says that she was unfaithful to him. Here she is, this innocent young woman who her father has not why her father has unwisely allowed her to be a girlfriend to this deacon. Yo, it's a ratchet story. You got to check it out. You got to read your Bible, even if you don't read the Bible, even if you're not into to spiritual things. You got to check it out. It's crazy, right? And so she leaves this guy. She's unfaithful to this guy, and she's a good girl. Eventually, he goes back, and her father basically she runs away, goes back to her father's house. He goes to her father's house, and they party up for night after night after night, and dad just lets her go back out with this dude. And at the end is something very tragic. Make sure you go and read it. I'm not going to give you the rest of the story, but she is a good girl. And there are good girls who do bad things. Are you one of them? Are you in relationship with one of them? Let's talk about it. I want to give you 5 reasons why good girls cheat. And this list is not exhaustive, but I think it will help you. Here's the first reason, because they may have suffered abuse at some point in their story. They may have suffered sexual abuse, what we call SA, somewhere in their story as a little girl, as a teenager, in college. And there's a level of shame that comes with that gets sort of hidden and suppressed. But there's also something that gets turned on the inside of them, which is this pleasure experience with their sexuality. And so while they carry this shame on the one hand, they also carry this pleasure on the another hand, and it gets confused on the inside. And I've worked with women who've suffered these painful things. It's kind of a powder keg, because at some point there has to be some effort to try to fix what's going on the inside, the shame, and was it my fault? But there was pleasure there, and they can be in a relationship with someone that they love and they're committed to, but if they're not careful, if they don't address the pain, they can find themselves looking for some pleasure somewhere else outside of that relationship. Let me know if this is making sense to you. It's not that she's a horrible person. So often there has been abuse, and there has been no support, no recovery, no healing. And so she may step outside of a committed relationship, particularly marriage. I'm very gentle with people who have suffered SA, because it's traumatizing. I don't know how else to say it. It's traumatizing, and that trauma can stay with you for a long time. And people begin to behave out of it at times that they never knew why they were doing what they were doing. So there could be abuse in the backstory of a good girl. And I just want to punch some dudes in the face right now. Like, I just get sick and tired of the garbage men do to young girls and women. And we're seeing a lot of this stuff in the media the last several years. And I'm here to raise the banner that says, cover her. Cover her. Get the book. Get the book. Please get the book. You're like, oh, you're just trying to sell your book? Of course I'm trying to sell the book, because the book will help people. Yeah, I can't help you if you don't read the book. Anyway, this video is not about the book. It's about the subject matter, why good girls cheat. To repair deep insecurity and to fix identity. Okay, let's get into this. A woman can be in a relationship, but if she's very insecure, or she struggles with her own identity, her place, her space, whether she matters, she can be in a good relationship, but never have that need satisfied in her life. And stepping outside of that relationship can become a coping mechanism or a coping strategy for trying to fill that need. By the way, not all cheating or infidelity or adultery is sexual. Not all of it is sexual. Not all of it is physical. You know, you can commit adultery just by hiding the shopping. Come on, help me right now. By hiding the shopping, you're buying and spending all the time, right? And you just won't show the receipts. You won't leave the bags. You just go home and hang the stuff up, right? I work with couples where that's been the case, right? Where she shops and shops and shops and shops and shops, and he feels cheated on. Why does she shop and shop and shop and shop and shop? Because she's trying to repair her image. She's trying to feel better by looking better. Is this helping anybody? She's trying to fix her identity. I have a dear friend who is an extraordinary writer and influencer, and she talks about in her books on finances how that was her big struggle. She grew up poor. You should read Michelle Singletary's material. She's a dear friend and has got some great things on finances. But she talks about that struggle of growing up poor and how, money was an issue, which, really messed with her identity. And so at one point, it was like, this is getting in the way of my marriage. And she works with a lot of people who have that struggle with their identity when it comes to finances. And here's my point here. If you struggle, or if a person struggles with their identity, if they struggle with their sense of worth and value, they can step outside of a committed relationship trying to fix that because somebody says the right things to them, or they set the table in a way that's attractive, and it can feel very good to them on the inside, especially if things are not going well in the relationship that they're in. All right, so how about this resentment for the person she's married to? Like, if you resent the person you're married to because they don't pay you attention, because they don't see you, because they don't nurture relationship with you, you might be giving them everything else. Like, there's a beautiful house. I'm telling you, I've seen this. I worked in the NFL for 14 years. I spent a lot of my coaching practice working with high-performing people, as I mentioned earlier. And I had one lady share the story. Her husband brought her home. This was many years ago now, a $30,000 diamond. It's not a big deal today, but it was back then. She threw the diamond at him, and then they later divorced. Eventually, they actually got back together. But the point here is that if you resent somebody who you're in a faithful relationship with because you're not getting the things you need emotionally, it's easy to go look for that out there. This happens a lot with revenge cheating. Revenge cheating. Like, okay, you cheated on me and you kept cheating on me, perhaps. Okay, I'm going to go and cheat on you. An otherwise wonderful person who's in extraordinary pain from the devastation, what I call the emotional tsunami that comes from infidelity and cheating, that faithful partner can get to the point where they just so resent their spouse that they go and sleep with someone else. Can I give you a couple more of these? I think this is, I don't know if this is 3 or 4 or 5. Sick of no commitment. Somebody wrote to me in one of the comments on one of my videos and talked about, they were talking about how long they were in this relationship with their boy. It's like a 10-year relationship. She said, my boyfriend. I was bugging. I was tripping. I was like, your boyfriend for 10 years? Oh, no wonder you cheated, because there was no commitment. She got tired of being committed to somebody who wasn't committed to her. So she's like, well, if you're not committed to me, I'm not going to be committed to you. She stepped outside a 10-year. Listen, ladies, if any dude would hang you out for 10, listen, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Either he's going to step up and be the man and lead the way and be committed, but don't be playing house with somebody for no, Listen, don't even do it for 2 or 3 years. This is my strong view. I'm just telling you, people don't do well when there's long periods of time and there's no real commitment. This woman had no security. She had nothing. He was happy to have a girlfriend, non-committal. Like that's pretty weak. So she stepped outside and he was crushed, and he was, you can check out the video, right? I don't even know why people cheat, something like that. But my point is, she was a good person, it sounds like, who was sick of not having the safety, the emotional safety, even the financial safety of a committed relationship. So she stepped out. She did like the lady in Judges chapter 19, the young woman in Judges chapter 19. She's like, I ain't being faithful. Here's the last one. I talked a little bit about this a moment ago with the resentment, but payback for infidelity, like binge cheating, right? That's a real thing, right? No one can take being cheated on one time, let alone many times. And you'll find, I found people, really good ladies, really good people, right, who that cheating that they experience having been cheated on, it does something to them, right? There's the anger, right? They go through all the stages of grief, the denial, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, finally the acceptance. But somewhere in there, something can break inside of them that makes them go, I'm just going to go and I'm going to do it myself. What you did to me, I'm going to do right back to you. And I say to them, please don't do that to yourself, because the pain that you feel now will be multiplied when you do that. Because my mama said it, I don't think God said it this way, but 2 wrongs don't make a right, right? You can't go fix what happened to you by doing the same thing that happened to you. But it's understandable, right? What I'm saying to you is that there are reasons why good girls cheat. And I don't know if you're a good girl listening to this video. You've been trying to figure out, why am I doing something that feels more damaging to me? I hope this is helpful to you. Maybe you're that guy and you're mad because your good girl cheated on you. Maybe this is helpful to you. Here's what I want you to know. There's hope. There's hope. You can repair this, but you can't repair this without doing the good work, the right work. And so I want to challenge you. You got to do the work to recover what's been lost through this new dynamic that has happened in your relationship. Hey, I'm Rod Harrison. I'm glad that you were here today. Let me tell you briefly about a great resource that could be helpful to you. If you have been cheated on, this is my first 5 steps. If you've been cheated on, you're not sure what to do, you're confused, the emotional tsunami's hitting you, you don't know what decision to make first, you don't know if you want to stay with this person, work on it, you don't know if you want to go bananas on them, you don't even know what tomorrow looks like, what tomorrow holds, the shame you're carrying, what are my friends saying, what do people know, all of that. What do you do first? That's what this first 5 steps guide is all about. Just click on the description, the link rather, in the description, and I know that will be a huge help to you. Hey, I'm so glad that we had some time together today. There are reasons why good girls cheat. There are reasons why anybody cheats. There are bad strategies for trying to fix something going on inside of us. And yes, the Bible calls it sin, but the Bible doesn't hate on the person who is not clear what's going on inside of them. That's not the point. The point is, we all do stuff we wish we hadn't done, but we can recover with God's help and with some good coaching. And I hope this was good coaching for you today. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.